wasn't too long ago that only the brave would buy a Peugeot. Previously, this brand in Malaysia was plagued with questionable after-sales support and just simply said, it just didn't have a very good perception in Malaysia. Like I said, only the brave would buy a Peugeot. Hello and welcome to Piston.my. I'm Kashi Dylan, and in this episode, I want to talk to you about the new Peugeot 3008. It's not just new, but there's a new custodian of the brand here in Malaysia. But I'm not here to talk to you about the past of Peugeot in Malaysia. I'm here to tell you about how bright the future is going to be, because the distributorship of the Peugeot brand in Malaysia right now is being managed by Berjaya Auto Alliance Sdn Bhd. What is BAASB? It's a partnership between Berjaya and Bermas Motor. Bermas Motor, if you remember, is the company behind Mazda, and as we all know, Mazda in Malaysia has done really well. Didn't I say that the future is really bright for Peugeot? Let's get to the 3008. Let's start with the design of the 3008. It's obviously a very handsome car. The grille, there's no love it or hate it, there's only love it. If you go to the side, the 18-inch wheels, they look really good. Something that is not very often seen in a standard SUV. I gotta say that they look really good straight out of the factory. And another thing that I really like is this chrome strip over here. It may not look like much, but when was the last time you saw a car with the design element right up here? And you can feel the engine heat coming out of here. So it's not just a design element, it's actually functional. I've often said that I do not like plastics, especially bland plastics on the exterior of a car. I'm talking about these plastics over here. But in this white color, seems to look really good. It blends in with the overall character of the car. I really like these chrome strips over here. So they're not just boring dead plastics kind of stuff. So actually kind of look really good. And this chrome bit continues up here, continues onto the roof line, and it extends over here. I gotta say that it accentuates the overall character lines of the car, making it look really good. I also like massive window over here. Makes the interior feel very spacious as well. We'll get to the interior shortly. Another thing that I want to point out is how good the rear looks. This is not just plastic, you know, it sort of just blends into the overall character of the car. The exhausts, unfortunately the exhausts are just Fox Pass. They're not real. The real exhausts are down here. However, people don't have to know that, do they? So of course, this is probably arguably the most important part of the car, the engine. 1.6 litre twin-scroll turbocharged engine producing roughly about 165 horsepower, 240 Newton meters of torque. It's all right. It's just power-wise, it's decent. You know, you get that burst of power to for when you need to overtake and stuff. Power, the engine is mated to a 6-speed gearbox, smooth shifting gearbox. That's always great. And for those of you that are worried about, gearbox not lasting, powertrain not lasting, like I said earlier, the new distributor 100% committed to it. And the first thing that they did was to extend the warranty to a 5-year warranty. You buy this car, you even get 3 years free maintenance. You don't have to worry about anything. That's how committed they are. So you don't really have to worry about not having spare parts and such. Back to the engine, in terms of power, it's just that it's decent enough, right? I did, however, think that it was still quite a thirsty car. I picked up the car yesterday, drove it straight home, drove it around Kota Damansara area, and we are right now in KL, and didn't do much. And it's already at quarter tank. So I did think that it's a bit thirsty, but don't quote me on that because I still need to drive it for a lot longer. Peugeot does say that the official figures for fuel consumption on this car is roughly about 7 litres per 100 kilometer. 7 litres per 100 kilometers is decent, it's quite good, no doubt. So all in all, in terms of powertrain, It's not very exciting, it's just enough. So let's trickle to the interior of the car. But before we get inside, let's talk about the boot. Okay, so this is sort of an SUV, right? So which means that, you know, you'll probably buy this car for your family, you'll carry your kids and stuff, which also means that the size of the boot is very important. It looks like a decently sized boot, and it is. In fact, it has all the functionalities that you would expect of a decent SUV. Pull this, the seat folds down, and there's even an auxiliary power charger over here. So you could just plug in stuff and, you know, I know that baby bottle warmers and such, you could just plug that in to heat up your baby's bottle, your milk bottles and such. So that's very useful. But I want to demonstrate that this boot, even though it looks impressive, is actually not that big. So I have here my son's Walker stroller, and this is a full-size Chico stroller lah. I'll just demonstrate it how big. So it's actually quite a big stroller over here, right? Something that we wanted for comfort and such. It's not very practical because it's actually quite a big stroller. It's from Chico. But once you fold it and you put it in here, you'll notice, of course you could remove this and push it back, but you see, it's actually not that, the boot is not that big. And then, what happens if I put in my laptop bag? This is a Tumi laptop bag, put that there. What happens if I put in my motorcycle helmet? Put in there. Let me put the seat back in place. Easy, very easy. And suddenly, you realize that it's actually not that big. But that's fine, because all you have to do is some smart packaging lah. Power tailgate, always good to have. Let's go inside. So now in the driver's seat, and the first thing you'll notice is the awkwardly designed, almost hexagonal steering wheel. I first drove the 3008 a couple of years ago. I drove this in France, and when I first saw the steering wheel, I also was like, what the hell? But after some time, you'll notice that it fits nicely in your hand. And you know, some of us drive like this, some of us drive like that, some of us drive like that, which you really shouldn't, but some of us do. But it fits nicely. It's ergonomically comfortable, let's put it that way. And then the shifter pedals are mounted on the steering column. They're not mounted on the steering, so very sports car-like. I kind of like that. This thing over here, if you're wondering what this is to manage your cruise control. So after some time, this too becomes intuitive. I used to drive a Renault Clio RS, and the audio controls for that was on the right hand side. Very awkward at first, but after some time, it become very intuitive. There's another problem with the steering wheel though, because if you notice, it's actually set very low. I had to set it that way because if I put it how I would like it, if I set it how I would like it, ideally, put it back up. Okay, this is how I would ideally like my steering wheel. But it's blocking my view of the meter panel, which is, can't have that now, can we? So that is a bit weird. Everything else about the interior though is very nice. These are some of the best seats in the industry, really. Go to your closest Peugeot showroom, take a seat, and these seats are amazing. The French really know how to make seats. Okay, since we are also inside, maybe if we come this way, you'll notice this fabric-like inserts over here. Now this extends all across the dashboard, right? And this is literally, it's fabric. It's like some jeans kind of fabric. I'm sure there's a term for it, but it looks great, no doubt. But for people like me, if you have sweaty palms, I bet you this will eventually get dirty. I'm not saying that every day you're going to put your hand on this and but I reckon it will get dirty. But because it's fabric, maybe you just go over to your favorite fabric cleaner or what. Maybe they can just steam clean it. I don't know. Maybe that's one way. But I reckon they'll get dirty. Another thing I want to point out, which is a piece of technology that is available in the 3008 as well as the 5008, is this rotary dial over here. It's called Advanced Grip Control. Now this gives you, it basically controls your grip levels. So this is more suited to European driving because it gives you sand mode. If you turn this, it'll show up here. It'll give you snow mode. If you turn it again, it'll give you mud mode. If you do it again, turn it again, it'll give you sand. Again, if you turn it again, it'll turn off your electronic stability, which you really shouldn't be doing. Then after that, it'll come back to normal mode. Why do you need this? Beyond me, but maybe if you live in an estate and you need to do some off-roading, which this car can. It is not four-wheel drive, it is front-wheel drive, but it's intelligent enough to manage grip and give you the most amount of traction that you need in almost all types of slippery conditions. So not really well suited to Malaysia, but this is a good thing to have because if Malaysian monsoon rain, right? So when it rains, it really pours in Malaysia, right? So I suggest that you can put it in snow mode or even sand mode, and it will maximize your grip. And this is something that you can adjust on the fly. So like I said, not really suited to Malaysian weather, but you can optimize this to suit your driving needs, especially when it's raining on the highway. Just switch it to snow mode, should help you. I'm seated here for a reason, and that's because I want to show you something that irritates the hell out of me. It bugs the OCD in me. Now, you're going to probably wonder, Kashi, nobody is really going to look down there. Come on, it's like, looking up a woman's skirt. But really, it bugs the hell out of me. If you go down there, you notice that steering rack is just right there. Why is it obvious? Why is it showing? It's like wearing a Scottish kilt without underwear. So no, that doesn't do it for me. I don't like it. It irritates the hell out of me. I suspect this is something that probably happened when they built right-hand drive versions of the 3008, because this car was originally meant to be left-hand drive. And that's obvious because to open the bonnet, the controls are here. And this is actually very, very common in French cars. In fact, it's very common in European cars, even as far back as the Mercedes W124. The controls to open the bonnet were all on the left-hand drive, and this is something that you just got to deal with for all of us that are stuck on the right. That thing though bugs the hell out of me. But since I'm over here, I want to demonstrate something that I'm really a fan of. I like sunroofs. Right? Even more so, panoramic roofs such as this. Makes the car look so spacious, man. I love it. This is cool. And the other thing that I really want to point out over here is the quality of stuff. All the buttons, everything feels top notch. It feels really good. And the interior is not too fussy. It's just nice. Buttons are just where they should be. There's just not too many buttons. It's not cluttered. I like it. And when you're driving, especially in SUV, sometimes you're in here with your family and such, everybody's making noise and such, everything. You don't want to deal with so many buttons around you. And I think Peugeot has done really well. well done. The 3008 obviously seats 5, right? But once you put your baby seat in place, suddenly it's not that big anymore again. So over here you have space for maybe 3, 4 people if you're on the smallish side. But then again, comes with ISOFIX mounts and top tether mounts. So which is great, especially for those that have older child seats, you know, with the top tether mounts instead of ISOFIX mounts. So this is always welcome, always use a child seat. And since we're here, back passengers will enjoy the air conditioning vents and the USB point over here. Right, so now the most important part of the Peugeot 3008, the price. Costs a little under 160,000 ringgit, actually 158,000 plus without insurance. At that price category, it puts the 3008 squarely in Mazda CX-5 category, in Honda CR-V category, and you know, those are the old guards. They are tried, tested and proven. More spacious, more power, more exciting, better after sales. So why would you buy a Peugeot 3008? Well, as I demonstrated earlier, there are things about it that are really exciting. And if you want a car that, you know, stands out from the crowd and you want something European, the 3008 actually is quite decent. It's built in Malaysia right now. And I'm quite excited to see how the new distributor will handle it. As I said earlier, it already comes with a 5-year warranty and 3 years free maintenance. If that's not testimony of how committed they are to building the brand in Malaysia, I don't know what is. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm Cashy Dylan. If you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe and to click on that bell icon so you'll be notified each time we upload a new video. Thanks for watching.